Welcome back to the Burnout Bobby YouTube channel. Today's video, we are starting to put this bike together. You may think, another Nardo bike? You've already done two? Nah. This is actually a bike for a buddy of mine, Junior. He's been super busy, so he asked if I could put together his bike for him. So he has a lot of parts that just came back from paint. There's some stuff that's going to be getting painted black, but in the meantime, I was like, why not start putting this together? I'm going to start going through all the parts he dropped off. So his theme is like a little bit darker gray than my Nardo gray. Probably a few shades darker, but it's similar. He did that with red, carbon fiber, and black accents. So it should really come together really clean. What I'm going to start doing here is putting the front end together, and then eventually I'll get the back end up and then start doing running the wires. He did have this notched out for like a wire tuck, so I'm going to try to do something similar to that. I'm going to possibly do like what I did with my bike with drilling the hole here and running the wires through. If that's the case, I'm just going to have to be super careful because this was just painted. I don't want to chip the paint at all. So there are some things that I could have done, I guess, beforehand, but we didn't know that I was going to be putting this together. So we're going to go ahead and start putting this together piece by piece, and then I will come back, show you guys what I did, and go over it little by little. Alright, just to show you guys where I'm at right now. See, that gray with the red, and the carbon fiber accents. So there's some pieces that I'm still going to do black here while I have this bike. I've already talked to him. He's got the carbon tank cover, the carbon rear frame cover, all that's done gray. The mount is gray, and then he has like some red dressed up. So that red, those little red pieces are gonna pop real big on the bike itself. So right now what I'm doing is going through the harness. I'm gonna try to clean this up some, and do what I do with these things. Make it look nice. That's what I want for him. This bike was a complete bike, and I think I've done a 171 for him on this and tuned it and fixed a bunch of stuff. So he's been a good buddy of mine, probably a little over a year now. And then he finally said, I need a change because the bike was white and red, and as you guys know, that seems to be the very popular combo. So he wanted to change it up, but he wanted to keep the wheels red because he was really digging the wheels, and I think it looks good. It's like a candy red chrome. So I said, hey, try doing some gray. He really liked the Nardo gray like on my bike. He chose a different shade of gray, a little bit darker, and gonna keep those red accents going throughout. So right now, this is where I'm at. I just want to show you guys. Did the frame bolts there, the battery tray and cage. He's gonna be coming by tomorrow with the triple tree and the front forks. The rear of the bike I'm not going to go too in depth with right now because I'm going to be waiting for some parts to do black. So that's going to be on the back of my priority. The harness, I'm doing it just like mine with the clips, which you can get here. I think I got them at Amazon or Harbor Freight. And now I'm just going through all the bolts that he provided me here. Luckily, he labeled a lot of the bags, so I'm able to just pick it up, see what it's for, and then go from there. So yeah, now I'm just going to start working on the front of the harness here and cleaning it up. Make this thing look pretty. Alright, so I know I've been kind of bad at checking in. I've been trying to just scramble to get this one finished. We have our big day coming up in about a week, so the front fender's on. He has the SF ground fender with the TRS brackets on there. These are the Blade GY6 wheels. Has these aftermarket blinkers with the shaved headlights. Kept the factory look. There's still the factory height. Didn't go with the 2-inch drop with these. I think these are some Amazon, or not really sure the brand for the master cylinders. Let's say MZS. So we have those with the TRS clip-on bars in black, and then your standard like left control there. Push button start up front. Right now, he's gonna order a key guard from the Ruck shop. I don't know where he got this one, but it sits out too far. Let's see if I can get. And what it's doing is, so if you have something like this and you've experienced your battery box opening up like that, it's because it's not able to go as far in. So this is not going deep enough. Let's do this again. This is not going deep enough on the actual ignition, so it's pushing the battery box out. I loomed up the throttle cable and the brake line, ran that down like normal. On the left side here, the bars he has, so the stem is a TRS stem that we make in-house. The bars were for a different stem he had, one of the eBay ones, and they're hollow. So I figured if we're keeping those, might as well do something a little different. Drilled a hole in the bars, and if you notice, there's no wires for this. I ran them through the handlebars and out, so they're ran internally in the bar, just for a cleaner look. And then, let's get this focus over there. They come out through the bar. And then I just notched the little cap at the end there for the wires to come out. Gives a little bit different of a look. And then as you can see here, there's no front brake switch on this side, and that's because I did on this bike like I did with mine, and did the pressure switch. So anytime you squeeze the brake lever and the pressure builds up, it will trigger this switch, allowing the brake light to activate. Did the COSO gauge, and with the wire tuck, I just ran the wires down in, had that all plugged in because he has the PSP harness, so it just plugs right into the PSP harness, nice and easy. He has the carbon tank cover, carbon side steps, all the little red accents going throughout. He is going with a different seat. He's not going to keep this red bride. We have another one coming from Cheeky, so that's on the way. Dry face is getting painted black, but there's the rest of the CVT right there. Has the case brace with the powdered front plate, or painted front plate. Rear brake line is all loomed up. Throttle cable, fuel line. Has the gloss black rear sets with the TRS kickstand, the Lord kickstand. Like the honeycomb in the fender there, huh? Bring it around this side. It's got the direct ignition coil Oco 30mm carburetor on this 171. He has the TRS carbon dual tip GY6 exhaust. Rear disc brake setup, and went with the R1 style fender. Has the sweep light for the rear, as well as the carbon end cap there. So he wanted this thing to be clean. I tried to clean up as best as I can, make it a little minimal, but still have all the features that he wanted. It's not fully done yet. There's still some more things to go. I just bled the brakes, and that's, fun as always. I'll give you guys a couple tips while you're bleeding the brakes. Leave the master cylinder cap off. Fill up with brake fluid. When you pump it, you're going to see air bubbles coming out through the top here. Just flick it like this. Now, it's best too, if you have a battery box on still, to put a microfiber or paper towels or something there. so it catches any spray. It shouldn't start spitting fluid back up until all the bubbles are out. So you just keep flicking it like this, and it may be like 5 or 3 minutes of doing this, right? You're gonna see a lot of bubbles come out, and then you're gonna squeeze this bleed from the banjo bolt. So with this one, I couldn't bleed it from the banjo because I have that pressure switch, right? So what I had to do is I took this caliper off the bike, and I have a spare caliper here. So I just used that to bench bleed it, which made it a little bit easier. So on the back side of this caliper, there's a little bleeder. So that's what I had to do to bleed it. So I'll show you guys. It's the same thing with the add-on style here. So on the back side, there's a bleeder there. Now one thing you can do is, when they're on the Ruckus, they're looking like this, right? The bleeder is on the bottom. So a lot of you guys with Adeline always message me, hey, do you have a hard time bleeding these brakes? Typically people are like, yeah, I've been doing this for like an hour, I'm still not getting pressure. Well, what's happening is it's getting up, air is still built up here in the top. The bleeder's at the bottom with that on. So what you can do is you can remove this and put it up at the top here. See where that little hole is? There's usually a M8 hex head bolt in there. So you're going to remove the M8 hex head. Then there's a little ball bearing in there that will fall out. You're going to take that, put that in the bottom, and then take this one, put it at the top. So air naturally goes up, right? So with that, you bleed here, this thing's going to bleed a lot faster. So keep that in mind when you are doing your idle and brakes. And the same thing, you just keep pumping the lever, pump the lever, hold the lever down, drain the caliper, and then tighten the caliper back up. Keep pumping. But the big trick that I've learned is, well, one, what I just showed you with the caliper, and two, flicking the lever like that. The vibrations, sometimes the air bubbles will get stuck in the lines, so the vibrations will help release those bubbles. And then what happens too is, right here at the banjo fitting, the air can get stuck. So even if you just take a little wrench, you can put some electrical tape at the end of it, and you just tap it like this while you're bleeding it. It's going to help out a lot and get all those bubbles out. So that's where I'm at right now with this bike. Feel like I would keep you guys in the loop. I am going to end the video here. The next video, I will probably have my GoPro set up on my new 509 helmet, and then what I'll do is take this thing for a spin. So I've already ridden this with the 171 on it when it was the previous build color, when it was all white and red. So the bike does do really well. The plan is just to make sure now that everything is all put back together, just want to make sure everything is correct. The bike has the O2 bung in it already, so it makes it a lot easier for tuning. I could just plug the wideband back in and make sure she's good. You know, summertime the bikes tend to run a little bit richer because the humidity it takes up the oxygen in the air, so there's less oxygen and bikes run a little bit fatter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and then I'll catch you on the next one when we get to riding this thing.